go to sleep, I'd steal the price up a little. Right. You come back the next morning, everything is where you left it, and also the dishes are done, and the streets are blocked. This is, he's the best. I'll tell you just a quick story about how I found out what I was dealing with as far as Ray is concerned. So, I guess it was the time we were down there, and we come out of an elevator, and there's a woman there, and someone pokes me and goes, "No, it's a senator from Nebraska, dead fishing." So I run down the hallway, because that's our job, and my job there is to have the camera and embarrass people. So I run down and I grab Ed Fisher, the senator from Nebraska, who's not on the bill. And I say, "Oh, Senator, you know, I know you have great respect for this country, and we have great respect for the heroes of 9/11. Oh, absolutely, sir. Well, I just thought maybe you'd like to tell them that." And there's Ray, because Ray's always there. And she turns around and she starts to talk to Ray. And they talk for a little bit, and she's got just a complete blank look in her eyes, as many in Washington seem to have. And that's it. And I feel like, yeah, nailed her. I see Ray the next time. And he goes, "Yeah, you know, I felt so bad about that." So what do you mean you felt bad about that? I said, "Well, we ambushed her in the hallway, and I felt bad about that." I thought, that's the measure of the grace of this man. He goes down there sick to lobby on behalf of all others. We run down a senator, and he is haunted by the fact that we might have made her feel uncomfortable, because that is the kind of empathy that this gentleman has. So I say to him, "Well, what'd you do?" So he started writing her to apologize and called her, and they became friendly, and she signed on to the bill. And that's how I just annoyed her. And I would have called it a day at that. I would have been satisfied that I had done my job. But Ray did it the right way. So I said to him, "You're unbelievable." He goes, "Well, that's what we do. We do the bad cop." So I'm a bad cop, right? He goes, "You're the bad cop." But it's my honor. I love this man. He is a great example to all of us about how to live our lives with grace and with selflessness, and with the ability to contribute in a manner that, while he believes that it is just his duty, it's just the way he was raised, that's just who he is, it's magnificent to any of us who have witnessed it, who perhaps don't possess those characteristics in such high levels as this man. So, Ray, you're a wonderful man. Now that you have the key to the city, obviously, in some ways, I have the key to the city. Free park. So it's my absolute honor to be here, and as always, with all these guys who I was absolutely blown away by every time we went down there. Their ability to withstand having to fight for a thing that they never should have had to down there in the first place was, as they have done since 9/11, raised my spirits and my hope for the future in a way that nothing else could. So I thank them, and I thank you.
John, thank you for all you did in this fight. A lot of us for many years hung on your every word in that other phase of your life when you were on television. And I think you were one of the great, one of the great social commentators of our time, one of the great comedians of our time, but I believe you're an even better activist. And you get a share of the credit here too.
Yeah, right on.
This is something extraordinary. The word extraordinary is necessary, but for two reasons. One, an extraordinary fight. Everyone in this room was a part of this victory, a long, difficult fight. And when it's an uphill battle, and when there's horrible misunderstanding and stinginess and all sorts of other factors in your way, but you overcome all that through persistence, and because you had right on your side, that's an extraordinary victory. And all sorts of politics in your way, but you overcame it. But it's extraordinary too, something John and I were talking about when we were coming in, it's extraordinary because it's a fight that should not have to have been fought. You know, that's part of our founding document that says we hold these truths to be self-evident. Supporting our heroes should be self-evident. Supporting people who put their lives on the line for us should be a no-brainer. It should be nonpartisan. It should be a layup. But it wasn't. Not this year or in years past. And so you have to fight. And we honor everyone today. We honor Ray in particular for being a leader among leaders, but we honor everyone because you never gave up that fight. You understood it was self-evident, but still, you had to fight. 72,000 people. Yeah, maybe would have understood it as just a handful of people. 72,000 heroes. People who depend on the World Trade Center Health Program. And now, finally, because of everyone's efforts here, particularly because of Ray's leadership, all 72,000 get to wake up in the morning and not have that horrible, pervasive worry about their future. You don't have to wonder what's going to happen next to them and their families, because they did the right thing when it was their moment to stand up. They'll have the care they need for as long as they need it. What should have been from day one finally is true now. They'll have the full faith and backing of the United States of America. It only happened because of all of you. There is no way to compare the extraordinary sacrifice, the intense bravery, courage, the awesome sacrifice of those who were part of the rescue and recovery versus the small contribution that our government is finally making to them. But we still see the justice in this action. And we recognize that the heroes who put their lives on the line were part of this victory, and there were other heroes. Folks who don't always get the respect they deserve, but in this case, elected officials and community leaders and well-known figures in our society who stood up and did the right thing and were relentless about it. So it is humbling to be in the presence of so many people who did so much good. Our first responders, the survivors, the activists, the elected officials, the advocates who never stopped fighting. It's one of those moments to realize that the good guys can win the day. But it took so much effort, so much fight, but it was worth it. We're here in this beautiful hall today that represents all that's good about this city, and I want to thank all our colleagues at the City Council for hosting us here in their chambers. Speaker Melissa Margarito and all the members of the council who were vividly involved, actively involved in this fight alongside all of you. We want to thank them for that advocacy. We want to thank some great leaders who could not be with us today, but their presence is dearly felt for all they did. Senator Gillibrand, Congresswoman Maloney, so many others who were part of this fight. We want to thank Dan Nybo, who you heard from a moment ago, our extraordinary fire commissioner, who was there that day leading the men and women of the FDNY in the middle of that horrible, tragic day. We want to thank former Commissioner Sal Casano for all he's done. Jimmy O'Neill, Chief of Department of NYPD. We want to thank our members of Congress who just would not stop. They kept fighting day in and day out, and it was bipartisan. I want to thank Jerry Nadler just as much as I want to thank Pete King. They were there also in our legislature in Albany, Senator Marty Gold and Assemblyman Peter Abadi. I want to thank them for their work. Two people get special thanks because when we were ready to give this good man the key to the city, and I don't know anyone who deserves it more than Ray, but I do want to note, since John made that point about he's going to have it too, someone check the Chrysler Building tomorrow to be sure nothing wrong. But we would not be able to have this great event today if it weren't for two leaders who really made it happen. Borough President Gail Brewer, Councilmember Marvin Chin, we thank you for that. We thank the union leaders. There's so many who are crucial in this fight. Two of them here today I want to thank. Peter Cassidy, President of the UFA, and Izzy Miranda, President of the Uniform EMT Paramedics and Firefighters. We thank advocates who worked tirelessly. Catherine McVeigh Hughes, great work she did, and a shy, retiring guy, you probably never heard from him, but he worked hard. I wish he had a little more personality, a little more colorful presentation. John Field, thank you. And we not only thank all of Ray's family, all of his friends, all of his colleagues, all the people that are here because they know and love him. I do a special thank you. Because not only was Ray Pfeifer his wonderful wife,
I'm gonna get your colleague out there.
Everyone who was part of the rescue and the recovery, everyone who was part of putting this city back on its feet, we're honoring all of them today. Remember those days? Remember how much we didn't know what the future held. We didn't know what it would take to recover. We didn't know what the possibilities were because those moments felt so dire. So many people, firefighters, cops, sanitation workers, EMTs, so many people were part of bringing us back to who we are today. It's important to remember all of them. It's a proud day for people who will never be famous but did things so worthy. People like Jamie Hastings, a volunteer EMT with lung disease, who said, this is such a powerful statement, I volunteered my whole life, and I didn't have to be at ground zero, but I love my city, I love my country, but I never imagined it would kill me. That summarizes what so many have been through. It's a proud day for Jennifer McNamara and her son John. Jennifer's husband and Jack's father, son Jack, my colleague, son Jack. Jennifer's husband and Jack's father, John McNamara, worked over 500 hours at Ground Zero. In 2006, when Jennifer was pregnant with Jack, he was diagnosed with colon cancer. John was diagnosed with colon cancer and passed away in 2009. So we remember everyone who contributed, whether they're still here with us or not. But we honor one man. And we honor him because he exemplifies all that was good about those who served and all that was good about those who fought for justice after. And giving out the key to the city is one of the extraordinary things that the mayor gets to do, one of the truly special things. Can't think of anyone that deserves it more than Ray Pfeifer. The key to the city was made for people like Ray Pfeifer. Let me take a little trip down memory lane. John gave you a flavor of who this man is. I want to see him blush here, though, so I'm going to tell you a little more. February 17th, 1987. A great day for the city. That was the day Ray joined the FDNY. And every day after, he wore his uniform with pride, just as he does today, with pride, with love, with commitment. And 9/11 was no different. For a week after that horrible day, Ray slept on his fire truck. He was at Ground Zero for the next 8 months, scouring the debris. People asked him why he stayed. His answer was painful but simple: to find his friends. And that determination, that single-mindedness, that was inspiring. It was inspiring to everyone around him. It was a reminder of what commitment looks like.